Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk about Rey using the Jedi Mind Trick in The Force Awakens. This video isn't so much a video essay as it is an analysis of the scene. I've been going through the Force Awakens Novelisation recently, and there are some really neat tidbits to be found that really expand upon the story and the characters. There are a lot of things in these novelizations that most fans don't know about. So I'm gonna narrate the passage from the novel and then give my thoughts. I've been wanting to make videos where I cover scenes from the novels or comics that I think are really cool or provide another perspective on something, like I did with my Anakin video recently. So if you end up enjoying this video, let me know in the comments because I would love to make more of these kinds of videos. Anyway, let's get on with Rey's Jedi Mind Trick scene. What had happened? Shackled and unable to move, Rey lay on the inclined platform in her restraints, pondering the encounter with Kylo Ren. At first, there had been the same pain and fear she had felt in the forest on Takodana. It had intensified as he probed her deeper, and she fought to resist. Then she had resisted. More than that, it was as if her resistance had somehow turned the probing back on him. For a brief instant, she had been in his mind. She could remember clearly his shock, then concern, and finally a retreat. He had pulled away from her and out of her mind with a suddenness that bespoke not fright, something else. Apprehension, she decided. Whatever she had done had thrown him badly off balance. He had withdrawn, no doubt, not only to consider what had taken place, but also to decide how to proceed with her. That meant most likely he would be back. She would do anything to avoid that. And that is what she proceeded to do. If she could push him out of her mind and enter his, what else could she do? What might she be able to do with regard to someone else? Someone less skilled, untrained in the ways of the Force. The single guard posted just inside the front of her cell, for example. You! He turned toward her, patently unconcerned and not a little bored. She studied him closely. As he was about to speak, she addressed him clearly and firmly, and not only with her voice. You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open and retire to your living quarters. The guard eyed her silently. He did not look in the least intimidated, her confidence wavering as she shifted slightly in her bonds. She repeated what she had said with as much authority as she could muster. You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open and retire to your living quarters. You will speak of this encounter to no one. Raising the heavy black and white rifle he had, he came toward her, heart pounding. She watched him approach. Was she going to be killed, freed, or maybe laughed at? Halting before her, he looked down into her eyes. When he spoke again, there was a notable alteration in his voice. It was significantly less confrontational and distant. I will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open and retire to my living quarters. I will speak of this encounter to no one. Working methodically, he unlatched her shackles. He stood and stared for a moment, then turned and wordlessly started for the doorway. Lying in shock on the reclined platform, Rey hardly knew what to do next. She was free. No, she corrected herself. She was free of this cell. That hardly constituted freedom, but it was a beginning. As the guard reached the doorway, she spoke hastily. And you will drop your weapon? I will drop my weapon. He responded in the same uninflected voice. This he proceeded to do, settling the rifle down on the floor, then turning left into the outside corridor to depart in silence. For a long moment, she stared at the open portal, deciding that it was not a joke and that the guard was not waiting for her just outside the cell. She moved to pick up the weapon and leave. For one, if you're a freak like I am and you know pretty much every scene by heart, you know that the scene goes a little differently in the movie. Rey repeats the line 3 times instead of 2, and the guard is able to resist in the movie at first. But what I want to focus on is something that was pretty much glossed over in the movie, and that is how/why Rey attempted the Jedi Mind Trick in the first place. Since she was able to resist Kylo Ren's mind probe and enter his mind a few scenes before, it only makes sense that she would try to do something similar on someone else, someone with no training in the Force. And it is revealed later on in The Last Jedi novel that the interrogation scene a few scenes before was where their dyad formed in full strength. So it makes sense that Rey would be unusually strong with the Force based on that. If you still think this scene makes Rey marry Sue, I hope this video at least brought you a new perspective on this scene. And no, I am not using the novel as a defense for the movie. I for one was able to figure out that this was how Rey used the Jedi Mind Trick, but if you didn't, there's nothing wrong with that. The movie wasn't too clear. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this type of video and if there are any other specific scenes you would like me to cover. Anyway, thank you everyone so much for watching another one of my videos. Don't forget to unite the Quad Squad, and I will see you guys next time.